Welcome back to Candy Quotes. Today we'll be talking about courage. Yes, it's super important to be brave, to take actions in our lives where we need that. Sometimes we think of courage and we're like, oh, well, somebody that is able to do some crazy stuff or be against, I don't know, a million people and stand up and do something. Well, yeah, that takes courage, but at the same time, what really is courage is the ability to confront fear. That's bravery, that's courage. Anytime there's a situation in your life, you're able to confront it. You're able to put that fear aside. And I know fear, I'm not saying fear needs to disappear completely from our lives, but fear can be definitely diminished. And know that you have the power inside of you to conquer anything that you really want to do. If you're brave, if you have that courage within you, you'll be able to overcome so many obstacles in life. Being brave and having that courage to make a change in your life, it has a huge impact, not only in you as a person, but on the people around you. If you're having a situation where it's difficult, just look at it from a different perspective. Is there anything that I can say or do that will make that situation different? If the answer is yes to any of that, go ahead and do it. Give it a chance. If the answer is no to neither one of those, because the situation is completely out of your control, maybe it's time for you to learn a lesson and move on. If there is somebody in your life that is not giving you what you're looking for, be brave enough to change it. Be brave enough to leave that relationship. Be brave enough to go ahead and seek for help if that's what you need. Be brave enough to take care of yourself first. You're the most important person. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to care for your kids, for your families, for your friends, for your spouse. You're not going to be able to move forward because whoever is inside of you, it's broken. It needs to be fixed. It needs to change. And it takes an act of courage to say, I need help. To say, I need somebody that can come and help me fix this situation. It's okay to seek for professional help or to ask someone, hey, is there a way that you can help me? That takes an act of courage with yourself. That doesn't make you a person that is weak. It doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you anything. It makes you a brave person because you're able to see yourself from an outside perspective and admit that you have a situation that needs to be changed. That is beautiful. Be proud of yourself that you're able to do that. If you're working and you can't change the situation at work, then sometimes it's time to move. Maybe it's time to look for another job. Maybe it's time to get out of that comfort zone because you've been there for way too long. Maybe it's a job that you've had for years. It's time to move on. And it's okay. I know it's scary. I've moved. I've dealt with so many things in my life sometimes that have nearly paralyzed me. But I have to understand that either I stayed in that situation or I made a decision that would get me out of it. And that's exactly what I had to do. I had to make a decision and just move on. I have to be brave even when I didn't feel like being brave. That's exactly what I'm encouraging you to do, is that sometimes it's super difficult to make those decisions. Sometimes it's difficult to express our feelings or to say just, I don't like this, or I love this, or I love you, or thank you so much for doing this for me. It just takes an act of courage. Sometimes we're just afraid of other people. Sometimes we're afraid of the situations that could happen, and we don't realize that if we don't open ourselves to something new, well, nothing new will happen in our lives because we're just closing that with fear. Give fear a pass. Just let fear go and be like, you are gonna be there. It's fine for fear to be in your life and somewhat, but don't let it control your life. That's totally different. There's some people that stay in a relationship for years, and when you ask them, well, it's just that I couldn't change, I couldn't move, I couldn't leave him, I couldn't leave her, I couldn't do this. Why not? And when you ask them and when you really peel it down to the root of the problem is fear. Almost 99% of the time, the root of the problem is fear. Fear of what's going to happen if I'm not with that person, or what's going to happen to that person if that person's not with me, what's going to happen with my kids, what's going to happen with the people around me, what's going to happen with the house or with the money or with the car or with whatever. Think about it. What if you're not longer here? What if today is your last day? What if you don't make a decision right now? You don't know the blessings that can come later in life just because you're closed off, just because you're not looking at yourself from a different perspective. Be brave enough to know that you can make a change in your life. Be brave. Make the decisions today. Don't wait. Don't let a situation hold you back forever. It's your life and you only have one. We only have one life to live. Life changes in a dime and we have to be ready because we don't know. Sometimes it could be a family member that is no longer there, or the job that we've had for years is, sometimes we get that call. It's like, hey, listen, it was so nice to have you here for 10 years, but we can no longer have you. Wow. And then you change all your life, or you didn't make any change in your life because of that job. Or you didn't make a change in your life because of a person that was in your life at a certain time. It's like, no, I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying just be self-righteous. I'm saying fight for you first, because if you're a stronger person, if you have that courage inside of you, you'll be able to move mountains. You'll be able to be a better version of yourself. And that is what I'm looking for. It's for people that can add themselves to these movements or bringing back all these family values. Today is the day that you do the act of courage with yourself, that you love yourself, the day that you call someone and say, you know what, I am sorry because I haven't talked to you in years, just because I was upset with you, just because of this or that or whatever. But that is an act of bravery, of picking up the phone and saying, I'm sorry, or visiting someone and saying, I'm very sorry I did this to you. That is wonderful if we can do that. Be brave, and I know you are. Just come out. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of what's going to happen. Don't even be concerned with what could happen. Because if you're concerned with what could happen, then that fear is going to hold you back the whole time and it's not going to let you move forward. Instead, know of the possibilities, but don't give it too much thought, because then you're not going to be able to move forward. Just think what you want to achieve. If you have a lot of anxiety, it's because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You worry too much about what if, or what's going to happen, or what people are going to think, or whatever. You're always thinking ahead, but in a negative way. You're projecting yourself as there will be a problem in the future. So that gives you a lot of anxiety. A person that is constantly depressed, you're depressed because you're constantly thinking of what you did or didn't do in the past, or what happened to you in the past, and you haven't moved forward. Take that act of bravery with yourself and be like, I'm not going to be in the past, I'm not going to be in the future, I am going to be in the present. And today, I will make a better decision for myself. Know that every decision that you make daily affects you in the future in some ways. Some of them are more critical than others. Be brave enough to take care of yourself first. Be brave enough to make a change in your life. And as always, I'd like to remind you that we're on Facebook and Instagram, and you can find us under Kandy Quotes. I have posts and videos that I put every week, and it's to motivate you and other people, as well as myself, to make a difference in our life, to make a difference in our society and in our world. Add yourself to this change, to this movement, and share as much as you can any of the information posted in these videos. Till next time, this is Andy Garcia. It's Kandy.